Hi everybody, this video is going to show you how to take through Design Space this new SVG to cut another countdown to a birthday box. The other one is the 8-sided one, very pretty and flowery and lots of feminine colours. I've done this one more in blues and greens and browns, and it's 6 cubes and then one long rectangular box. Let's have a look at some more pictures. Yeah, so you can see you also get this base box that they all sit in, and when it's fully put together it looks like that. Right, so let's go to Design Space and we'll start to bring things in like I did with the 8-sided one. I'm just going to show all 3 boxes as if you were going to do a basic cut with them, because I know some people will just do a cut or they'll create their own print then cut. They won't use my artwork, so I'm just going to do what I would normally do with an SVG and show you how to just cut it. So this is a super easy one. This is the cube box, and you would need 6 of these if you were going to if you're going to make the whole project. As always, the first job with any 3D SVG with score lines when you bring it into Design Space is to convert the lines that still come in as cuts but which we need to be scores. We can't make them come in already set as scores in externally created SVGs. So mine always live in this second line down in your layers panel. If there were more than one piece, that would be a group, just like this below it is a group. But there's only one layer of scores, so there's just that one line there. So click on it to select it, go to your operations menu, choose score from the drop down menu, and you can see that those lines have been converted now. And because this is a single piece file, all we need to do now is select everything on screen, and you can do that by clicking at the top of your layers panel or choosing the select all button or dragging a box around it. However you do it, when it's selected, just click attach. I'm on the PC version, desktop version for PC, so attach is at the bottom of the layers panel for me. So then you can just click make it, and it will fit on 12 by 12. Too big for A4, too big for letter, but it will cut from 12 by 12. So that's if you're just doing a basic cut. I'll cancel because I'm not going to cut it, and I'll bring in the what I'm calling the birthday box. So this is that longer box. You can just find it. Yeah, this is this box here, the one that says happy birthday and it's got the bunting on the lid. Right, so this comes in as 2 pieces, but again we need to convert the scores. First job, so again you're going to click on that second line down in your layers panel. This time that's the name of a group, because there's more than one cut piece, so there's more than one set of scores. So you just click on the name to select it. Again, go to your operations menu, click on score from the drop down, and you can see that they get converted. But this time, because there's more than one, you've got to ungroup them. And again, on the desktop version for PC, that's at the top of your layers panel. Then select the group below, which has all the cut pieces and any tiny cuts within them. All we need to do there is ungroup. And then we need to do a third and final ungroup. So select everything on screen, any way you want to do it, and ungroup a third time. So now everything's a separate piece, and we can attach the score lines to the pieces that they relate to. And I think the quickest way to do that, click on canvas somewhere near a piece, drag a box to enclose it and attach. And we need to do that for both pieces. Okay, so again, we're just treating this as if it's a simple cut, and it will go on 12 by 12. That one, yeah. You could possibly squeeze that one out of A4, but why would you? Yeah, they'll both cut nicely from 12 by 12. So 2 sheets of 12 by 12 for the birthday box, if you're just cutting. Now I'll bring in the base, which is actually only a cut file. I don't have any artwork for this one. Oh, what have I done there? We'll do that again. There we are. So again, we've got to go through that converting the scores thing. So again, second line down in your layers panel, it's the name of a group. Clicking on the name selects everything in it. Go to your operations menu, click on score, and you can see that they get converted, and we have to ungroup there at the top of the layers panel. Then click on the group below, which contains all the cut pieces, and ungroup it. and then click on the whole SVG anywhere you want to and ungroup a third time. Now everything's separate, so we can attach the score lines to the individual pieces. And I really recommend that you do it individually, even with these walls. It just gives you a little bit more freedom when you come to lay them out. You'll see what I mean in a sec. Oops, a daisy, didn't mean to do that. Right, so click make it. And if it would cut from one sheet of one of the huge sheets, of course, but you can choose 12 by 12 and the standard mat, and you'll need 2 sheets if you do that. But also, I think you might just be able to save a little bit. Let's just see. Just going to move one from there onto that first mat, if it'll go. It will. So it would just mean that you'd use a little bit less of this sheet, wouldn't it? You'd only use about half. So have I done that right? Yes. So 1.5 sheets of 12 by 12 for that. If we used A3 as I usually do, again, I think you could move one of those to the side of that box and it would just fit. It does. Yes, it does. It does fit. So that would just mean you were using less of that A3 sheet, so you'd have a much bigger sheet for next time you came to use it. Won't fit that way on tabloid, of course. If you happen to use tabloid, that's a little bit narrower. So yeah, you'd need 1.5 sheets of tabloid. Okay, so those are the 3 box shapes if you were just doing a simple cut. So if that's what you're going to use this project for, and if you're not going to use my print and cut images, then you can stop watching because that's what we're going to look at now. Okay, so I'll start by bringing in the little cube boxes again. So we need to do exactly what we did last time. There we are. We need to click on the scores, operations menu, select score, and then because it's just a single piece, we can select everything and attach. And now we need to start bringing in the artworks. So I'm going to bring them in from scratch. They are in my library somewhere, but I'm going to bring them in from scratch and then you can see exactly what to do with them. So I'm just navigating to where they are on my system. PNG, print then cut artworks. Right, we'll do the 1 day to go one first. At this window, I always choose complex. I'm not sure if you have to, but I always do, just to try and go for the best quality. At this window here, you don't need to do anything at all. This image is ready to cut exactly as it is. So just hit the green apply and continue button. And then yes, we are bringing it in as a print then cut image. PNGs generally come in at the wrong size. Mine always seem to come in absolutely huge. But there's an easy way to look at that. That's massive. Right, so we look at our original cut piece and we can see that it's 29.07 centimetres wide. If you're working in inches, just take your own measurement there. So now we select the artwork and we type into your width box 29.07, and if we hit tab or return, the height of it is set automatically as long as this little padlock is in the locked position. So make sure that that's in the locked position before you do that. Now we're going to select everything and we're going to align it, center it horizontally and center it vertically. And then we're going to look in this group of things that we've got selected in our layers panel, and we're going to select the original cut piece and we're going to get rid of that. You can hit the rubbish button or you can just press backspace or however you do it on the device you're working on. So this here in your layers panel is the attach group and this is the artwork. So you can actually get them combined now one of 2 ways. You can either just click on your artwork, send it to the back and then select everything and attach that way. That's one way of doing it. Another way is to just grab it in your layers panel and drag it into the group underneath everything that's in there, and then that attaches it automatically. Okay, these boxes need to print on A3. So it's going to choose A3 automatically, or tabloid if you're in the US. So to make this at the size it comes into Design Space, your printer needs to be able to print A3 or tabloid. But, so, we'll talk about that in just a sec. So you would just press continue, you'd send to printer. I've chosen tabloid there. I'm just going to go back because obviously I'm in the UK and my printer's not set up for tabloid. Foolish woman. Is it going to let me cancel it now? Yeah, cancel. Ha! I think it's even printing it. Can you hear it in the background? Yes, I do. Right, so I'm going to choose A3, continue. That's it. So what I wanted to point out was when I print, you do need bleed on because the artwork bleeds right off the edges of the cut. I always use the system dialog because when I'm doing A3 print then cuts, my printer never chooses the right place to either take the paper or what size of paper I want it to use. So I always bring up this system dialog box, and then I can go to preferences. I can tell it to use the paper tray, and I can make sure that the document size is A3. I don't know about yours, but it never chooses the right paper when I'm using this larger print then cut size. Obviously I'm not going to print it, so I'm just going to press cancel there, and it's let us cancel. Good. Right, so I'll mention just before we did this that, if I can get back to the canvas, if you want to make it at the size I've made it, you would need a printer that does A3 or tabloid, but you can of course reduce it down and use A4. So to make sure that we get it the right size, I'm going to bring in, that's a letter, that's A3. I've got these maximum size templates for print and cut, which I will actually include in your download, so you can see how what the maximum size is that you can get away with. So that there is your maximum size for A4. Now with the new slightly more forgiving sizes we've got, so you could position that over the top. Again, you're going to make sure that padlock is locked, and then we'll just reduce it down until it fits within that shape that we've got there. Can go a bit bigger, can't we? Oops, no, there. That's it, I think. I think that's about as big as we can get it. But if I just zoom in there now, I can check the size of that by bringing in a shape. Just bring in a square. And again, the padlock's locked. I'll make it about the size of one wall. So you can still, even on A4, you can still achieve a box which is 55 centimetres square, which I just quickly grab my ruler. 55 is about 2¼ inches. So that's still quite a nice box for a little daily treat on the run up to your birthday. So yeah, I think it would still work well on A4. Get rid of that. So that was the one that we reduced to A4. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to do undo now until this print then cut template disappears, and then I know I've still got that at the right size. Okay, so that was how to do that box. If you're not all the other boxes 1 day to go, 2 days to go, 3 days to go, they're all made exactly the same way. So just re-watch this little section of the video if you need to know how to do that particular box again. And now I'm going to bring in the only other piece of this project which has print and cut artwork, which is the big long rectangular box that goes at the front. Just going to show you it again so we know what I'm talking about. That one. The one we've just done was one of these little ones here, and now we're going to do this long one. So there it is. Add it to canvas. And just like we did before, we need to convert the score line. So again, click on that second line down in the layers panel, operations menu, choose score, and because there's more than one, we've got to ungroup. Then select all the cut pieces and ungroup, and then select the whole SVG and ungroup it again, and then we can attach score lines to individual pieces. There we go. Right, So now we can bring in the artwork for these two. Again, I'm going to do it from scratch so you can see what I'm doing. These are called Birthday Box Part 1 and Birthday Box Part 2. Part 1 is the piece that goes onto the one that's got the lid. You'll see what I mean in a second. So again, at this window, I'm choosing complex. At this window, I'm doing absolutely nothing. Don't get rid of any white. You need it. That's the shape that's going to cut. So you're going to do nothing and hit apply and continue. And then yes, we are bringing it in as a print then cut. My computer's running a bit slow tonight. Okay, so again, it's coming mahoosive. So we just check the size of this, 29.18 centimeters wide. So in my width box up here, making sure that the padlock is locked, 29.18, and I just hit return or tab and it sets the height automatically. And then I select all of that box piece and the artwork, go to the align menu, center horizontally, and center vertically. It's important that you attach your scores before you do this alignment, otherwise your score lines will move because they obviously are not the outer shape of the box. So make sure that you do that attachment first. And so now in this selection that you've got, you're going to look at your layers panel. There's the original cut piece that we don't want, so I select just that and I click on that dustbin, or you can backspace like you did. And then again, like we talked before, you can either drag this into the group and then you can see all the, have I done that right? No, right to the bottom below those tiny little notches in the lid. And I'm actually just going to change the colour of the canvas now so it's easier for us to see what we're doing. Yeah, we'll make it bright yellow. There you can see, if I scroll in, we can see the little notches in the lid that just make it snap close, and there are all the scores in the right position. Okay, so that is the piece that is the back of the box and the tuck in that comes over and the flap that tucks in at the front there. This is the piece that makes the front face of the box and the side, the other side to that one. Excuse me. Right, let's find that artwork now. And this one is Birthday Box Part 2. Again, complex at this window. Do nothing here, just hit apply and continue. Yes, it's a print then cut image. Add it to the canvas. Check the size of the actual cut piece, 29.19. So again, in my width box, 29.19. Make sure the padlock is locked and hit tab or return, or however you do it on the device you're on, and it's made it the right size. So now we select those. Align menu, center horizontally, center vertically, and in your selection in the layers panel, find that original cut piece and get rid of it. And then there's the artwork right at the top. Drag it into that new group and you can see it comes in and all the scores are on top and everything is attached. So again, these two pieces, they're going to need to print on a sheet of A3 each. You can see it comes up with 2 sheets of A3. I'll just quickly show you that again if you're not familiar with it. So continue, send to printer, leave bleed on because it does bleed off at the edges. And again, I think you'll need, like me, to use your system dialog box unless your printer only prints A3, in which case you're sorted, but mine doesn't. Preferences, your window there might look a little bit different, but somewhere there'll be a preferences button. Paper source, paper tray, because mine goes in the back of the printer, and A3 from the list. Okay, I'm not going to print it though, so I'm going to press cancel. Okay, that's that. That's the whole project, and it's even easier to put together than it is to take through Design Space, and it makes a really impressive looking birthday gift, I think, especially great for giving to somebody that you're maybe not going to see, so they've got that little treat in the 6 days running up, and then your special present in the big box to open on the day. If you've got any questions when you come to cut and assemble this, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm always happy to help, and it'll be something simple. The way to get in touch is given in the description below. You can get in touch on Etsy or Facebook, whichever you prefer. And if you've just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, the link to do that is also in the description. Thanks a lot. Bye.